Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of Triumph Beyond Trauma. After a massive episode last week, I have a little shorty episode for you today. After all, life is about balance, right? In Tactical Yoga Australia news, we've had a massive response to our downloadable PDF. If you aren't aware, we have a downloadable PDF on the website that you can give to your treating GP, psychologists, or psychiatrists, or all of them, so that they can recommend the first responder mental wellness method program on your behalf to your insurers. This means that you could take part in the program and not be out of pocket for the $247. We've had a few people now be successful with this in New South Wales with EML, and I am looking forward to welcoming even more and more people into the program that's just getting incredible results. If you would like to download this, just head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, tacticalyogaaustralia.com, and it's on the homepage. On to today's guest. The name may seem a little familiar because he has been here before. Mark Thomas is a phenomenal man and the founder of the Code 9 Foundation. Code 9 Foundation is an incredible charity based in Victoria that supports not only first responders but their families as well. Code 9 Foundation helps first responders and their families directly by offering safe spaces for first responders to connect and receive support and advice, supporting families with meals, providing mental health referrals, providing respite weekends, facilitating mental health forums, so much more. Mark is here today to share something very exciting and I think is just brilliant in support of first responders and their kids in the PTSD journey. So, without further ado, let's get it on. Welcome to Triumph Beyond Trauma, the podcast that explores journeys of resilience and hope. I'm Rosie Skeen, a yoga and breathwork teacher and founder of Tactical Yoga Australia. As a former soldier's wife, mum to 3 beautiful kids and a medically retired New South Wales police officer with PTSD, I understand the challenges of navigating mental health in the first responder and veteran community. Join us for incredible stories from individuals who've confronted the depths of mental illness and discovered their path to happiness and purpose, as well as solo episodes and expert discussions. Together, we'll uncover the tools to help you navigate your journey toward a brighter, more fulfilling life. Whether you're looking for helpful insights, practical tips, or just a friendly reminder that you're not alone, Triumph Beyond Trauma has got your back. You matter, and your journey to a happier, more meaningful life starts right here. Mark Thomas, welcome back to Triumph Beyond Trauma. You're my first repeat offender.
How cool. Thanks.
I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited, but you are here for a very special reason, and you guys are releasing your very first book from the Code 9 Foundation, My Dad, My Hero. I would love to hear about how you're doing and how that book came about.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me back and to have a chat about this book, which we're super proud about, and think it'll have a really good difference within the first responder family. And I suppose, to be honest, it can be any family that a parent is living with a mental health condition, whatever that condition may be, because you can just adapt it a little bit, I suppose, with your own readings and your own words. So the first idea of it was several years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I reckon, where we started talking about it, and really stems from the co-founder and of the foundation, Rob Atkins, and his family. So he's diagnosed PTSD, depression, anxiety, and the kids really didn't know what was happening to him. Then I chimed in. I remember, not exactly remember the conversation, but the guts of it. And I said, yes, same here. And some of my behaviours, which were not me, they were my injury. In particular, I mean, there's 2 of them that still sit in my mind. One, my daughter, she would have been about 4 at the time, asked for more milk in her Wheaties, and I baked her for Australia. And I look back on it, and it's just there's no excuses. It wasn't me, it was my injury. And then another time when I come home from work and I was just cooked, and my lad, who was probably 5 or 6 at the time, wanted to play cricket, and I said, just give me 5, mate, and I never went outside and played cricket with him. So you got this little lad who's 5 or 6, and he just wants to play cricket with his dad, and, I wasn't there for him. So, between those 2 stories and, Rob can recount several of his own, and then all right, well, can we do a book that explains this in really child-friendly terms with characters, whatever they look like, so that the idea was born. Kim, who was on the committee, or still is on the committee, she took carriage of it, got the illustrator on board, and the illustrator come up with these very alien
Yeah,
looking characters.
they look
They're
like little monsters or something, don't they? They're so
Yeah,
cute though.
but they're friendly. So,
Yeah, very friendly.
and that's like what we wanted. We didn't really want the representative human looking people because it's a kid's book. So if we make these little characters friendly, which she did, Anastasia, she did a really good job with it. So we basically got the characters in line, and then it was just to basically add the story to it, and the story, like, it's 20 odd pages, and the story flows from, dad struggling, the kids showing that, he doesn't want to play with the kids, or he can't play with the kids is probably more to the point. He's got a little alarm bell in his brain. He's got these lightning bolts and exclamation marks and little things above his head, which shows his head's, something's going on within it. Like, the middle page spread, like that is the biggest guilt trip for us, is because dad's inside in a darkened room, his head's going berserk, and the 2 kids are outside in the sandpit looking sad. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, that when I first looked at that, I was on the verge of tears
Mm.
because it's like, yeah, that's me. Shows the family at the supermarket and things like that. But then they have a little chat between Jordan, which is a nod to Rob and his wife Christy. One of their sons' name's Jordan,
Yeah.
so the son in this book is Jordan. So it's
Yeah.
a nice nod to the Atkins family, and they have a bit of a chat. And then they have a chat to mum, and they call a doctor, and the doctor puts them on to a special doctor called a psychologist. Then dad's getting treatment, dad gets a diagnosis, and then it shows him, eating good food and then playing golf with his mates and doing all these things. And, at the end of the story is basically dad's a hell of a lot better and he's playing with us again. So, the very quick overview of that, it shows that whole journey in a very friendly and in a way that kids will understand. We stuck a glossary in the back, which just flick to it. Yeah, so like psychologist. A psychologist is a doctor for your thoughts and feelings. Psychologists help people with PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other things too. Other
Yeah.
things, like that's the way the kid's going to talk.
Yeah.
So they kind of get that. And anxiety can affect your thoughts, body, and behavior. Lots of people with anxiety do not want to go into a crowd or go to dinner or even to the supermarket. Anxiety can also make you feel really nervous and sometimes sick in your tummy. So, like all of I suppose, the words that a child may not understand, it's got that simple explanation of it in the back.
Which
So,
how good though too, like when you're reading a book to a child and they go, "What does that word mean?" You don't have to think about it. You can just go, "Well,
no,
let's have a look and we'll
yeah,
work it out
flips at the
together."
back and it's there. And yeah, we got a couple of like the Kids Helpline, Headspace, and Lifeline logos, not the logos, but their numbers in the back as well. So, pretty much a resource uh, to people. So, yeah.
Well
So that,
done.
um,
I think it's great, and I really like you've mentioned the, how dad has got those little exclamation marks and, like, it looks like fire and everything coming out of his head, and then through the book, as you mentioned, he starts to get his treatment and do things that are good for him. It minimizes, but it's always still there, even
yeah,
when even at the end when he's, like, feeling better and they have that little family photo,
Yeah.
It's still just a little bit there, which is a great nod to
Yeah.
PTSD because it is always with you. And your symptoms might just be a bit less sometimes than what they are. So I think that was really a nice touch, actually.
Yeah, and that's yeah, it's a really good point you make because like I'm not a subscriber to the idea that you can be cured
Me
from
either.
post traumatic stress. It's part of us. It forever will be part of us. Yes, we can manage our symptoms really well, and they can be really low at times, but uh, those of us that live with it know it can be a split second moment in time, and all of a sudden you're heightened again. So, uh, yeah, Anastasia did a great job, and the wording to it, like we had, interestingly, we sent it to a literally, I can't say that word, literally agent, someone who assesses books.
Okay.
I have trouble with a lot of words. um, and it come back with not overly favourable feedback,
Yeah,
but
right.
we had a meet, we discussed it, and we thought we've got a good product here, so we're just going to run with what we think is what we want.
Yeah.
Like we've got the experience of, we're one side of this story, we're the sufferer. We've all got kids. We've seen them react to us when we've been heightened. So we're on a good thing here. This is a good product. So we stuck with what we thought was what we wanted to portray, and then we had the book checked out by two child psychologists and a primary school principal, and all three come back and said, "Love it,
Yeah.
absolutely love it." There's a few grammatical changes here and there, but overall, and that reinforced to us, and that's no disrespect to that agent. That's, they were doing what they thought, what they've trained to do or what they've done for a long time. But I think there's just probably a misunderstanding as what we were trying to portray. So to get that really good positive feedback from people who are around vulnerable children all day, every day, that was gold for us.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about those people that had a look at it, the psychologist and the principal, because I was wondering if they had a hand in helping you write it and cover the points in relation to the PTSD and treatment, or if that just came from you guys. Like, how did the writing come about?
That was us.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, Christy and Rob basically sat down, went through in a draft way. Yep, cool, like that. I reckon we should say this instead of that. Yep, actually that flows better. And it was just a mix and match of words, sentences, things which we removed or added or whatever. Like the story at the start was a bit larger, and it went through more of the family sort of atmosphere, but like the front cover was always going to be the front cover, and this is really the story between Dad and Jordan. So we just wanted to hone in on that. So we removed a couple of the images, some of the wording, made it a bit more snappier, and just focus in on these two. So um, like it's we'll look at doing others. Certainly one for mothers out there. Like we don't want this to portray my dad, my hero, that we don't acknowledge our mothers out there, because we do. We support many. We we love our female first responders, so that there's nothing in there to suggest that we've just gone with my dad. We don't acknowledge that our females. That's for sure. I just want to get that really clear.
Yeah, I like when I read it, I didn't think that at all. I did think you might have some people make some comments though when I did read it, but I think even I'll get my copy and read it to my 7-year-old, which will be great for her.
Yeah,
And I'll just say, this is some of the stuff that mum deals with.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
how mum feels sometimes. So I don't think it's that much of an issue.
And I mean, it's easily adaptable. What I was saying before,
Absolutely.
like even if it's if someone, a parent out there lives with anxiety by itself
Yes.
or depression by itself, you can still there's still parts of the book. So even though yes, it's aimed at first responder families, it can certainly go into the military families and go into community families. No worries. It's just showing that sometimes we struggle, and if we reach out and we speak to our GPs and our psychs, and there is treatments available and to make you feel better, and that's like it's much about, to me, it's as much about educating children on what happened to their dad or their mum, or their parent in any way, as it is to show kids that it's okay to speak to a psychologist. And if you eat healthy, if you exercise and things like this, then that's giving yourself the best chance of having a good healthy brain.
Absolutely. I really like that. I'm a big believer in starting young and opening up conversations like that early as well.
Yeah,
So it normalizes it within the family and then their friendship groups as well.
yeah.
And then it is okay to seek help when you're having a bit of trouble. If it's just your mum or dad, or you need to go and see a different doctor. I love that.
And that's, like you talk about the education, like my two were, I think they were 3 and 4, something like that when I was hospitalised. So they've essentially grown up with it, but it's just pure complete normality now.
Yeah,
Like a couple of years ago, I was really struggling. I'd come home from work. My lad walks in. He goes, "Oh, what are you doing home?" I said, "Oh, my head's no good," which is our little sort of sign. All right, you want to play COD? Yeah, righto. Then he just toddles off to his bedroom, drops his bag, comes back, gets a controller, set it up, and we just start playing Call of Duty.
yeah,
Like, it's just complete normal. And then daughter got home. What are you doing home? Oh, my head's no good. All right, do you want anything? No, all right, sing it out if you do.
yeah,
They just know how to react. They know that it's accepted. So, like, this book is that first step for us to let those real young ones know that, hey, it's okay.
yeah. I definitely wish I had this book when because my kids were pretty similar age. I had a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Mm,
Would have been perfect for sure, because I really did struggle, and I've had conversations with other people that I know with PTSD. How do you talk to your kids about it?
yeah,
And then what's the right time? Like, how old should they be? And then you've got to make it age appropriate. But I think
yeah.
this is a really great book that you can start from those young ages for sure, and then they'll absorb more of it as they get older.
It gives them that little bit of knowledge, and they can go, understand that anxiety makes you feel sick in the tummy, or depression makes you feel sad. Okay. So as they get older, then they can explore that a bit more. Why does it make you feel sick in the tummy? Like what? Then they can start exploring, the body's reaction, the mind reaction. So it's that entry level for the young ones to get in there. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're obviously super proud of it. We're formally launching it on Sunday at a little boutique bookstore in Ballarat, nice rural town, but it's very central because there's 000 Victoria. We've got a station there. There's only like a couple others around. Fire Rescue Victoria have a major presence there. I mean, obviously we're there and that, and they're there, but like big, it's a big hub. So formally launched it on Sunday. We went with Amazon. It's on Amazon. One of our partners, she ordered on Saturday and it arrived Monday morning or something. So the turnaround's really quick. And again, that comes down to, if we were to stock it ourselves, it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah, for
On that.
sure.
So yeah, super proud, and yeah, get the word out there. It's forever there now. So yeah, it's not like a limited edition that we're only selling 100 copies and it's only going to be available for 3 months. It's forever a resource for whoever needs it. So it'll be
Yeah.
great. Years down the track, people are still looking at it and go, "Hey, this book's really good entry level."
I think
Let
so
kids
too.
know.
I think not even just for kids, I think some partners struggle to understand as well. So
Yeah,
even having
absolutely.
it within the home, just a really simple, basic rundown of what goes on in their partner's life really is
Yeah,
is is good. I was I was definitely thinking that when I read it.
and it's like you think for a partner, how hard would it be to see your partner just go downhill and then have this crash like I did, and it's like, whoa, what's going
Mm,
on here? What's this? What's that mean? So
yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Well done. I think it's great. I think you've done a great job with it, and I'm sure it will be successful. And like you said, it's going to be around forever now. So
Yeah,
ongoing success for sure. What else are you guys up to at Code 9? I mean, I'm sure it's been a big year with that book happening.
yeah. Been a big year, and we've been. planning, and this is out there now. I think we've just sent out our last expression of interest for it last night, which is the kids camp. So Geelong Adventure Specialists, we've teamed up with them to send 10 kids away down to a river down Geelong Way, down the coast, where they'll go canoeing and camping, and like they've got a counsellor there, like all qualified people, like it's perfectly safe. And like Legacy, ADF Legacy use Geelong Adventure Specialists. So, and again, this idea stemmed from Rob and Christy, who sent one of their lads on it and had a ball. And it's probably twofold. One, it gives the kid, they all come from first responders families where one of the parents, the first responders, got mental injuries. So it gets them a week of camping and adventure, which, as a somewhere between a year 7 and year 12, which is the age group we've hit this time. Who doesn't love adventure at that
Yeah.
age? But it also too gives the parents a week off, where they can sort of put their feet up, and they might have other kids in play, but so it's a dual thing. Really excited about that. Our first one's going to be in January, early January, and then all things being equal, we'll do another one for a younger age group. So we're hitting different age groups, making sure everyone's catered for. Do one probably in April. So it's the school holiday period. I mean, we'd love to get to a point where we're continually running a camp every school holiday. So 4 camps a year, different age groups, whether we ever got to an all female and all male, or however, kids are identifying as, or whatever, just to make sure we are ticking all the boxes of our first responder family kids. So, like from the word go, we've always been heavily invested into the whole family structure, because I think if you've got the injured member, we'll use, mum's mentally injured, but if you can help cater to dad and the kids, you're creating this nice little support bubble around that central person who needs all the support they can have. So, certainly not focusing on just the member. That's just one part of what we do. So that's super exciting. I don't want a time machine to throw my life away or anything, but I'm looking forward to mid-January when all the kids are back and we can get feedback and things like that. So just to see if we are hitting the right mark, which I think we are, but we've got to get that feedback to see how we can sharpen things up and get it better next time. So always trying to improve. So there's a bit going on.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful idea too, because I know Sarah, Brian.
Yeah.
And something that we spoke about when she came on was when they did the walk together, how the kids didn't have to talk about their parents' injuries, but they got on really well almost because
Yes.
of it, because
Yes.
they had that common thing, and it's not something that like there would be more kids going through it than we would think, but they wouldn't speak about it. So for them to
No.
be in that same environment together and just know what each other's going through at home, sometimes that would be really nice for them. So
Yeah.
well done. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I've sort of thought, with this, and like you talk about Sarah and her kids, Pia and Alana from Emergency, and yourself, and like, all the the families I know here with their kids, like it's pretty, it's super cool.
Yeah.
And knowing, to be able to send the kids away, have that week of adventure, and I could just imagine some of them will be off their heads having fun. This is awesome. There'll be some boys that and suitably some girls too, will just, they won't shower or wash for a week. They'll be dirty as, they'll be next to the river canoeing, camping, staying up all night talking. They'll have a ball. So
Yeah. Any water's a
really
shower,
cool.
right? If you're in the
Yeah,
river, if
yeah,
you're in the
correct.
beach, it doesn't matter.
It's water.
It's
Doesn't matter
water.
that it's really dirty, but it's water. That works.
Oh, that's amazing. Is there anything else that you wanted to have a chat about today?
No, but thank you for the airtime and being the first repeat guest. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited actually. I think
Yeah.
I just had a look before. You're episode 12 and now you're going to be episode 32, I think. Oh, because I'll release it next week. So it's nice and close to your launch.
Yeah, and I think I said it last time in Ep 12. It's awesome that you are doing your pod, and because that gives people like us, it gave me a voice to talk about my journey the first time, but it also it's now giving, the foundation and the book and the camp even more airtime. And like we can put out all the stuff on socials and websites and things like that. But then when you got people like yourself who come in and give us the airtime, yeah, super, super appreciative, which, is all education for people out there who don't really know what it's like, or people who, are within the first responder, workforce, or were, or, a lot can be adapted to the military. It gives people an insight as to, okay, so now what they can learn from us, then they can do for their partners and their kids and themselves if they are the ones that are injured. So very grateful for your time and your effort.
No, you're very welcome. I think it's all about working together, isn't it? And
Yeah.
increasing everyone's literacy about it, and especially the kids. Like I said, I struggled to talk to my kids about it, just knowing what to say. So this is going to be amazing. I can see it in psychologist office everywhere. I can see it at police stations and fiery stations. And I think you've done a really beautiful thing, you and your team. And I think the Code 9 Foundation is amazing. And I'm happy to support you whenever you need. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks again, Rosie. Massively appreciate it.
I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss any new ones. We release fresh content every Tuesday. And while you're there, take a moment to leave us a review. I would genuinely appreciate your thoughts. Don't forget to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Tactical Yoga Australia, and share this episode with your friends, family and workmates to spread inspiration. Your support means the world. My name is Rosie Skeen. Join me again next week for another empowering and positive episode of Triumph Beyond Trauma. Until then, be kind to your mind and trust in the magic of your consistent and positive efforts. Triumph beyond your trauma is closer than you think. Have the best week.